welcome back to the QORcast. And today we have a very special guest, a recurring guest, but
Yeah.
first time on the QORcast. So we'd like to introduce KEG, caster, entrepreneur. Uh, you're now doing commercials too, also.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know what I'm not doing. Entrepreneur's a new one, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Makes me sound like a fancy businessman.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff because before when we had you last time, you were I think only doing casting, but now you're doing a lot of other stuff too. So
Yeah.
I want to like more go deeper into that other stuff. If you want to start off that with well you did start doing the commercials. So can you tell us how you transitioned to commercials now?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird journey, right? Like obviously there's no like A to B to C transition, but like at the beginning of this year, I was just lying down one day and I'm like, I like commentating, I like video games, I like esports, but that's not the only thing I want to do with my life anymore. And it kind of goes back to like, the Max Keg origin story, right? Like
Mm,
my entire life I've always wanted to do like entertainment, be in Hollywood and do amazing stuff like that. And so when COVID started, I wanted to do commentating for video games to kind of learn those skills like public speaking, being able to be in front of a camera and not like completely bug out, just like moderately bug out. And then, eventually take those skills and bring it over to Hollywood. And I was fortunate enough to be able to move to like Hollywood in 2021, but I've only worked in esports up until this year. And well, I guess that's a lie because I've worked award shows a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like the Grammys and like the Golden Globes. I got
oh
to say
wow.
hi to Taylor Swift and she said hi back. That was cool.
That's awesome. I saw
But
your
like,
picture with
what's up?
Leve. I saw it and I was like, that man's living the dream right now.
Dude, it was wild, right? So I don't get starstruck very often, like at all. I've only been starstruck maybe twice in recent memory. The first time is when I worked the Game Awards and I walked across a hallway with Hideo Kojima, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
Oh
god.
shit!
I
That's
breathe the
sick.
same air as this guy.
yeah, I was like, oh, I almost fell to my knees. I was like, oh my God, no shot. But the second time is when, so what I was doing at the Grammys, the reason why I was like so close to Leve is because, I worked the production of, the Grammys. And let me tell you, it is a mess behind the scenes.
Oh
Really?
But
yeah.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But like, they don't know what Discord is. Like, you think that's the easiest way to communicate for productions, right? But no, it's all like old fashioned walkie talkies and stuff. And just running around with like a chicken without their head, right, the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much my job there was that I had to be a talent escort. So pretty much I'm assigned to Leve and I have to bring her to like her dressing room, to the stage, to the dressing room, and you'll never believe this, back to the stage. And
That's
eventually they leave
amazing.
too.
Yeah.
But at one point I'm walking her towards like one of the exit areas and we're going like this way, right? Coming this way. And again, the only other time I've been starstruck is when Billie Eilish comes towards us.
Oh
And she
shit.
goes up the leve and she's like, nice job, dude. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's Billie Eilish. I've listened to every single one of your songs at least 1,000 times. Of course, it took maybe everything in my body, maybe even a little bit more, not to like completely break down.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, dude, that's Billie.
that's great. That's awesome.
So like when you saw them or when you saw Leve, like are they like different compared to the private when they're in public? Are they different or are they usually like the same
No.
people?
Yeah, they're the same people. Leve was really quiet. I
Yeah?
mean, to be honest with you, I didn't really know who Leve was at all. Like I've heard
Oh
like her
no.
most popular song like on Spotify a few times. My
Yeah.
partner loves Leve. But
Mm.
like it's one of those things where, it comes on Spotify or the radio and like you hear it, but like you don't know the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so like nobody behind the scenes knew what her name, like how to pronounce it. Like
Yeah.
everyone kept calling her Laufey or Luffy, like the One Piece character.
Yeah.
And so I had to message my partner and be like, okay, how do we definitively say her name? And my partner thankfully is there to save the day. And it's like, no, it's Leve. Please say Leve. And I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
Did she
But
get
no,
angry?
no. She didn't get angry or anything. But she was quiet the entire time. Like you could tell this was her first Grammys. She was very overwhelmed. Look, I don't blame her, right? Like
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
super
The Grammys.
overwhelmed too. But yeah, I mean, really no complaints. She was just kind of there for the ride.
Mm. So like when it comes to like the Grammys and all that, how is it like different than being like part of like a like an esport event when you're like of course you were a desk analyst, a caster and all that, but how is like the I know you said it's like a mess behind the scene, but like do you think it's like does that mean like the esport side is it more like proper and like not proper like more organized?
Um, I don't think either are organized that much, to be honest.
Oh.
I've been at some very organized like non-esports events, and I've been at some very organized I've been at organized events for both, but I've
Mhm.
also been at very disorganized events for both. Um, it the cop-out answer is it depends on the event. It also depends on the day. I
Mm.
think when it comes to esports, really the big reason why things become really disorganized is like when like can I swear on this podcast? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
Of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
course.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
when like shit hits
Oh
the fan,
shit.
right?
You can say
Yeah,
anything
like
you want.
nice. But it's like it's usually like tech issues for esports,
Mhm.
whereas with like the Grammys and stuff, it's like brains are turning off left and right. Because you got to keep in mind, right? Like they're like everyone like the average age of the person that works the award shows is at least 65 years old.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Like
Mhm.
I think I'm the only person there. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm there. I'm the only person without a wrinkle. At least I don't have a visible
Without
gray
a
hair.
wrinkle.
Yeah, like
That's
A
crazy.
wrinkle's kind of insane.
I've seen people at least triple my age break down and cry on these sets. I'm not saying that as like a point of pride. Like that's really
Wow.
sad that they do, but like
Yeah.
it's just because all the technology is super archaic. They use like physical paper sheets for like, where do you go, the maps, figuring everything out. And there's not really like a big order to things. And it's just a huge, big disconnect ever. Like, the people I work with, we don't talk to production, like the actual tech people running the show. And, we're supposed to be that bridge in between the production and the talent itself. It's kind of hard when you don't talk to half of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like you're always running around trying to figure out what's going on, and you're always walking on eggshells. Like, okay, am I about to get yelled at? Am I about to bring Leve to the wrong place? Which did happen. I
Oh
brought
Oh.
no.
Leve to the main the main area where all the people are before they go to their seats. So she
Okay.
started getting swarmed by fans, and I'm
Uh-oh.
like, oh no, I'm gonna get fired. So we had to do like a Batman-esque escape through an elevator down to the production floor and have her whisked away, like she was the president of the United States. It was
That's
wild. But to answer your question, it really just depends on like, the people you're working with. Because some esports events too have been very disorganized, but I think the people that you work with there are forced to learn so many more condensed skills in esports that like if shit hits the fan, you're much more likely to have a good recovery time than like,
Right.
something catching on fire, I suppose, at the Grammys.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because with the Grammys, it's not like you're not around like nobodies. Like these are just like big time celebrities, and like they're
Yeah.
invited. I mean, some of them are like I don't know if are being paid, but like they're coming and then they're showing their face. And if you show like, there's like that constant pressure of just like, oh shit, like I don't want to get piss these guys off. Like Billie Eilish, she's not happy and she takes to social media. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, luckily that
basically.
hasn't happened yet. I mean, there's been some talent that I've been kind of like irked about. Like, none of them have like really like pissed me off or anything, but like a common thing that's happened twice now for two different events is that obviously we're like not unionized, but like we still have like rules that like the companies need to follow in order to
Yeah.
like not break the law, I guess. So we have this weird thing called like a lunch break, which in esports we don't really have that much.
That's
But like
crazy.
we're mandated like a 1 hour lunch, which is nice. That's cool. But the
Mhm.
problem is, like, as a talent escort, you have to match that like perfectly with your talent. And it's not like they're locked into anything, unlike you. So they could just fuck off and be like, okay, we'll see you in 2 hours. Bye. And it's
Mhm.
like, oh, okay.
See.
Yeah.
See ya. And what will happen is that sometimes they'll go and do something, and then they'll just leave for lunch for 3 hours. And you have no idea where they're at, or how to contact them, or anything. Like, are they okay? I feel like a parent that lost their child. Like, is Soldier Boy okay? Like, where is he?
Is Soldier Boy cranking that?
Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy! And I'll
Who
walk
has eyes
around.
on Soldier Boy?
Yeah, no, literally on the radio, I'll be like, "Has anybody seen Soulja Boy?" And like, I have to describe what he's like wearing, like everything, right? And then like magically they'll reappear like 2 hours later, and I'm like, you scared the hell out of me. I thought I was gonna get fired. That actually, I worked the BETs, I think about a month ago, and
Mhm.
that exact thing happened. Now, he wasn't necessarily like a celebrity, but he still had like one of the like the smaller dressing rooms.
Mhm.
But I was running around everywhere for 2 hours trying to figure out where this guy was. And at the end of the day, I was near where his dressing room was supposed to be. I call on the radio and I'm like, guys, I cannot find this dude. And then suddenly he calls out to me. He's like, and he pops his head out of a different door. I'm like, Max, I've been here the whole time in a different dressing room.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
god.
I just
Oh.
ran 5 miles through this entire building to find you. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And that was the end of it.
Just completely oblivious.
Have you? Who is like the best and worst celebrity you've ever worked with?
The best and worst, I haven't had like a bad celebrity. Like there hasn't been anybody that's been like, oh my god, this person's awful. Like
Yeah.
the worst I could say is maybe Leve's management was very pushy, but they were super nice doing it. But that's
Yeah.
mostly like
Okay.
on red carpet stuff, and I get it. Like she's an emerging celebrity. Like you want to make sure you play something like the Grammys right. So she's like, okay, Max, bring us over to TMZ, bring us over to E News, bring us over to NBC, bring us over to QORcast News. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll
Yeah.
bring you guys over to that stuff. And they were just very particular about what they wanted. But
Mhm.
there hasn't been a celebrity that's like, fuck you or anything. Like they've been super nice to me the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've also heard that there have been like horror stories. I hate to not give you the juicy tea. I can't think of any particular celebrities off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're pretty understanding of being like, okay, look, I'm still kind of new to this, guys. I've never been to this venue before. I've only traced my steps once here. We're going to go on an adventure. And usually they're like, hell yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, that's good. Like,
So
do you see yourself doing this more? I'm sorry, Danny can go. I didn't mean to cut
I
off.
was just gonna say, so what has been like the most stressful thing that you've ever done? Like whether like or
Like
what's
ever?
more stressful than like in terms of like these events and stuff, like say casting or being on the desk or like escorting people, like what would you say is like the toughest part about like a bunch of the things that you've done?
Honestly, dude, the toughest part's my own anxiety.
Mm.
I've had like lifelong, really, really bad anxiety disorders.
Hmm.
And, it's taken a long time of like therapy and medication and finding like the right dosages and stuff that works well for me. And honestly, it really took until maybe this month to find, I think, the right dosage for me. So, there have been lands in the past where I've been like raw dogging it essentially, trying my own medications, which is like jugs of apple juice and stuff. Like people at lands will make fun of me because usually I'll just walk around carrying a gigantic like liter bottle of apple juice wherever I go. And it wasn't until like honestly like this week that I put like two and two together and realized, hey, you know what? I think it's because I have really low blood sugar. So I've started
Oh,
taking like sugar pills now in the morning so
Yeah.
I can actually
yeah.
like wake up and be energetic. So otherwise I think I'd be very tired right now doing this podcast, but I'm glad I found that out. But yeah, I think the number one thing is just myself. The most stressful thing is me,
Mhm.
over stressing events, doing maybe too much research and not really being able to implement it all and maybe not focusing on the things I should have as like a caster.
Hmm.
But it really just comes down to battling me, I think, for the most part. And I feel once I get over that hoop, whether it be a few hours into an event or like, even now being able to take the proper medication before I go into something like this, it becomes a lot more smooth sailing. It's like putting life on easy mode.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like when you say like a lot of stress, like even when it comes to casting, because I know like with casting it's a lot of like you always have to be like attentive and like you have to be careful on the words you say, like especially for Valorant, like you have to be like very like picky on what you can say, what you can't say. It's not even just because of Riot, it's just because like you have to present yourself in a better way.
Yeah.
Even with like preparation, do you still find that like do you still find like a lot of enjoyment when it comes to casting, even though there's a lot of like stress on what you can and can't say?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I feel like I've trained myself mentally enough to be able to not say too many bad things on casts. I mean,
Mhm.
look, I grew up with like Adult Swim, like Metalocalypse, Aqua
Yeah.
Teen Hunger
Yeah.
Force, Adult Chicken, Adult Chicken,
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken. Yeah, thank you. But like, that's where my mindset's usually at. Like that's my humor. That's what I like.
Yeah.
But like obviously you can't really do that on casting too much. So it's always like I can think of like jokes in the back of my mind, and it's like, oh, damn it, I can't say that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think the closest I've ever gotten to, well, I have gotten in trouble for things I've said on casts, but the closest I've gotten to like getting into a lot of trouble was it was last year's open qualifiers for challengers,
Mm.
and I made a Dragon Ball joke, which isn't bad, but then it was like the way the joke was, I don't remember anymore, but it was like something about Dragon Balls, and then I said they're dragging their, and then I stopped myself,
Oh my
and the
god.
producer in my
No.
ear is like, "Don't you fucking finish that sentence?" And I'm like,
No.
"I want to," and
That's
everyone just
insane.
started laughing.
Wait, so
But
was
it's
the
like,
producer your ear the entire time? Like
oh
even
yeah,
like
they're always in your ear. Yeah,
oh
like
like
9 times out of 10.
so what do they usually like? Are they always just making sure it's like, oh, don't say it, or like what do they like
No,
tell you?
no. So for the most part, what they tell you is like, it depends on like the level of the event for the most part, but usually it's just like the transitions to like a different slide. So like when you're doing like VCT or like any like event like that, the way they transition from like the stat screen into game and stuff will be the producer in their ears being like, okay, we're going to game.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how they make that transition really seamlessly.
Hmm.
Has like have you ever dealt with like a producer that's like a little too hands-on where it's just like a
Oh
little
yeah.
too much? Like I mean
Yeah,
you don't have to say names, but if you want to
Call
like
him
present
out.
like
Call him out. No, I'm kidding.
we need the views, we need the views though.
dude, I
Um,
can't even name names if I wanted to. Like I can't I can hear their voices in my head, but I can't put like a name to faces. But I've definitely had some people that are like overly talkative and like very micromanagey. But that's kind of like those people who are like learning not to do that. It's like
mm,
they're still learning themselves. And
Hmm.
so like once you get to like those higher level things, it's like, okay, they're very hands off with things too, and that's usually the best way to do it. And like a lot of the time you'll talk to producers after the show and they'll be like, dude, I am not focused on you at all. I'm focused on making sure we are timed perfectly and that we get
yeah,
the transitions done and the ad reads work, and then we go into game. And then
yeah. Because like I know a lot of I know like with casters like when it comes to like ads like I don't know like the Red Bull clutch like you have to say Red Bull or you get in trouble afterwards.
yeah.
Like does a producer usually
Really?
remind? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know with like somewhat lot like the Zippo Ace or something like for this year's challengers or something like if there's an ace you have to say the ad read or you get in like a lot of trouble. As like like a producer ever screamed at you, he's like Keg make sure to say the ad read or something like that.
Um, Not really. I mean, yes, they usually be like, okay, when you go in after the break, make sure you start with the ad read and then go in like to the game. Usually that's
Mhm.
how it goes. But normally like when you see like a Zippo Ace or like a Red Bull clutch, like it's on the screen and like you want to say it anyways. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
it's not really that big of an issue. But normally how it works, and it's different for every show, is that usually like there's like a certain amount of times you have to mention a sponsor throughout the day. So like if it's a Red Bull clutch, usually they want you to mention it at least once or twice per broadcast. And again, I don't know specifically how they're doing it this time, but it's usually like, hey, mention the sponsor twice. Mention them after the break or before we go to break, and just to make sure they hit those KPIs for between the company and the sponsors themselves, so they get more money.
Oh, okay, so like it's not only on top of like pressure on them, but it's also like they want you guys to really, really present it and like really say
Yeah.
it, like just to maximize on it.
Yeah, and I'm making it sound a lot harder than it really is. Like once you're in the workflow of it, it's like, oh yeah, we should mention them. Like, they're doing so much for us already. Like we should be mentioning them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've worked with a lot of people, like you've casted with a lot of people. Who are your like favorite casters you've ever like had to work with?
Oh geez.
Like I know you want
Uh
like a law list, but like you gotta like narrow it down to like I don't know, like give us three. So we
Three
or like
people?
yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Lemon Kiwi is one of my favorite people to work with. Sierra Dawn, she used to cast and now she's a host. She's one of my favorite people of all time to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tenrek, I think, is a really good caster and he's super underrated.
So
Hmm.
like why those three? Like if you can give me like detail about them, like why they're so like good like what you think is so good about them.
They're human beings. They're not afraid to show their personality, when they're working. That's a big problem I had for a long time too, is that like I wanted to be like super professional, super radio-esque. Oh, look at me, I'm a caster. But like that's boring, man. People want your
Yeah.
personality.
Mhm.
And like I could be an unhinged weirdo. I like being an unhinged weirdo. And once I learned how to kind of dive into that more, it was so much more fun to do stuff like this. And
Mhm.
I think those three really know how to tap into that well too. And just working with them was super seamless and super fun.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to say. Do you want to say the worst caster you've ever worked with?
Like
Uh-oh.
I know their name. They don't work in Valorant, but I remember it was for a Call of Duty event in
Oh, okay.
2020. Not a big name, so you will never guess who they are. I don't even know if they cast anymore. But
Mm.
like
Oh, maybe this is why.
but, maybe. But like I remember I had a hard time pronouncing people's names because a lot of the time for like, smaller events, they don't give you like a name sheet, like how to pronounce these guys' names. It's just like, there they are. Good
Mhm.
luck.
Mm.
And I didn't know these players as well, so I pronounced this guy's name, not even that far off. But this guy was like just laughing at me. Not even like in a joking way, just straight up like laughing at me.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Oh, that's so wrong." And then it was just like so snobby and pretentious. And in the
Yeah.
back of my mind, I'm like, fuck you, man. Hell
Yeah.
no. I'm never working with you again. And I think that's might be the only person ever in esports that I'm like, I refuse. Luckily, I haven't had to worry about them since.
Oh,
Mhm.
But
so like
like,
after that, you've never worked or even like had the opportunity to work with them.
no. I wish I'd done more Call of Duty, but like, I haven't seen them at all
Mm.
since.
So okay. So like, is it minus Call of Duty? Is there a game that you've always wanted to work for? Like you're like, damn, that would be real sick if I worked like if I casted that game. Or have you ever done
Um,
that before?
I think for me it was mostly like Overwatch, and I did my first Overwatch cast for a high school in California a few
Mm.
days ago, which was
Oh shit,
cool.
nice.
But like the only reason why I never like wanted to do Overwatch was that I didn't really have a lot of faith in the esport. But now with OWCS, I have a lot more faith in it. I think it looks really
Yeah.
nice. But like you have, I'm sorry, but you ever watch like Overwatch esports? Like
I've
Yeah.
watched
ever?
a few of them here before. Yeah, yeah.
It's like watching your brain go to 110%. Like there's so much going on at once. It's like I think I'm melting. I
Yeah.
think my
Oh my.
brain's shutting down. It's like, oh, it's overheating. Like there
Yeah.
will be a billion things at once, and these casters are talking faster than Eminem, and it's like I could never do that. But
People
That's
like,
always like, yeah, because people always like complain. It's like, damn, there's a lot of things going on in Valorant, but like for you, it's like Overwatch is like that on steroids.
yeah, it's like on crack. I'm like, what is happening? There will be times in Valorant too where it's like every ultimate goes off at once, and I'm just like, it's chaos everywhere. Who knows what's going on? Dogs and cats are living together. This could be anything. But like, I think that's part of the fun too, is that you don't have to necessarily dissect every little thing at once because the viewers aren't going to get any enjoyment out of that. Just
Yeah.
play
Mhm.
into it. It's like it's a tidal wave. Oh no, it's a big emergency. Who knows what's going to happen? And I
Mhm.
Has
feel
it
like that's the best way to do it.
was like the adjustment from like Valorant to Overwatch casting? Was it like hard or was it like pretty
No.
easy when it came to transitioning?
No, I don't think it was that hard. I mean, to be fair though, the Overwatch cast I did was for a high school. So like,
Hmm.
the level of play wasn't like crazy high, but like my partner and I, we've been grinding Overwatch ranked like like a lot of late nights, like 12, 1, 2 a.m.
Hmm.
And I finally hit silver in tank,
Oh,
Let's
finally, which I'm
go.
happy about.
congratulations!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm pretty much a pro already.
Oh,
I
of
But
course.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
taking everything I've learned there and just being able to like kind of parse out what I've learned and things I've seen from like other casters talk about and VOD reviews and this is really nerdy, but like
Mm.
for every game I play or like cast or whatever, I have a spreadsheet of like all of
Oh,
the characters and their abilities and like my own notes about them and stuff and like patch notes. It's super nerdy. But
yeah.
like I'll just pull that up on my phone while I'm casting, being like, oh yeah, see Zarya's bubble? See, it only lasts this amount of time now. That's gonna mean this Winston could counterplay that so much easier. And
Okay.
so it's like a big cheat sheet.
But that's good. Like the a caster is like well aware of like the game mechanics and like everything, even like the nits and bits of it. Because like of course you can like I don't even know if it's like discussion, but like people are saying like oh low rank casters shouldn't be casting like a professional game. But it's like you can't really say that because then you'll go and be like, look at coaches. Like coaches don't even play ranked, or like they'll just VOD review, and like a lot of them are low ranks anyways. So like, does that still like bother you that people keep saying like, oh, if you're not like top 500, why are you casting this professional game?
I mean, yes and no. I think when people say that, they don't really take into account that like people can be like masterminds of the game but suck mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like you could like okay, here's an example, right? Let's say that I am the smartest Valorant player in the world. I know the right thing to do in every right situation, right? Like I taught Tens everything he knows. I made sure Kaplan, I gave him all the resources and stuff. And then people will be like, "Well, why are you bronze?" Well, what if I have a disability? Like what if I
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
can't use a mouse? Like how do you explain that then?
Yeah.
I think people just don't really think through the mechanical side of that argument, which I don't really think is fair for a lot of people. But, for me, like growing up, I had no brain, but I had aim in like, Black Ops 2 for like the 360, but that had auto aim. Like I thought I was a
Yeah.
god aimer, but I'm okay. But like, I can call rounds in ranked or like, in casting pretty much 9 times out of 10, but like my aim and my positioning sucks because I cannot I don't have that ability yet to process what to do in those moments specifically. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not really like a logic thing. That's more so like, okay, I am just not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not playing the right situation. But that's
Yeah.
not necessarily like macro play. Like that doesn't really translate as well.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of I mean, especially because the Valorant community is still like kind of young compared to like
Yeah.
you would go like to Rainbow Six or like the CS community where they're much older.
Yeah.
They still don't understand the grasp, and a lot of them this is their first esport, so they
That's
don't
true.
really understand that. So that's why I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, and I feel like I'm happy that a lot of casters just don't really care what they say when it comes to like those comments. I feel like that you don't need to be because people don't understand. Like again, back to coaches, like a lot of them don't even play ranked or don't even are not even good mechanically, but they're good when it comes to like you said, when it comes to being a mastermind and understanding how to unlock everyone. But everyone always thinks like, oh, if you're not tens, why are you casting or being a coach? It's like,
I
come on,
mean,
guys.
any pro player will tell you too that like ranked in pro play are completely different games too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess the best way to describe it, and I mean as someone who hasn't played like a pro match of Valorant, it's like, okay, for pro matches you want to put like, strategy, thinking, and all that over aim. Like aiming and fighting is like the last thing you want to do if you're not a duelist. But in ranked, everyone wants to aim. It's a
Yeah,
TDM. People don't care about strategy or abilities. They just want to run and gun and click heads. And it's
yeah,
like that doesn't necessarily translate over very well unless it's like, a huge stomp.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think Paper Rex was like the only like one of the few like teams where they're like, we're just gonna do anything we want and we'll just go crazy. But like now
But they
you
still
see
have
like
strategy.
yeah, they still it's like chaotic strategy. I feel like that's the best way I can.
Steamrolling is definitely a strategy. Just
Yeah,
shoot better than them, and they can't kill us.
That's what translates over into pro play. Believe me, all the people I face up against in ranked are pros if that's the case.
oh yeah. A lot of like tier three pros, they had one match under their belt. They know everything when ranked.
Yup,
But
yep,
yeah,
they're VLR masters.
yeah.
Oof.
I think that's like the beauty of like the game. It's like the evolving slowly. I think people are starting to slowly understand. It's like, hey, I don't really need to have like I don't need to do aim labs for 3 hours before bed just to be able to be good at the game. I feel like that's the beauty of it. Also, I feel like
Yeah.
you can understand. It's like, oh, I mean, you could say Overwatch also. Like, if you're not really a crazy aimer and damage, you can go and be a healer or support or like a
Yeah.
tank. And I feel like people will joke about Rainbow Six, but I feel like Rainbow Six is the one game where I think game sense prevails over aim any
Oh,
day of the week.
absolutely.
Yeah, because like not only that, you have to worry about like height over it, and you have to like break walls. You're playing like underneath the map, and you're not even playing on site, and it's like that's why I think a lot of the
Siege is barely an FPS game. It is like
yeah
It's
it's
like
almost like a
40
MOBA.
chess.
Yeah, it's literally a chess match. I remember way back before I even like started casting, I was driving to the mall with my friend from back home, and we were having an argument of whether or not you could compare Siege to chess. And I'm like, you absolutely can. Half the
yeah
characters are named after chess pieces, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
hmm
have Rook,
castle.
and that's it, Castle,
Hmm.
and that's it. But still, somewhat of an
The
argument.
idea is there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
well,
like, what's up?
you have to like because the thing is you like there's like what there's like I think like a minute so you can like reinforce set up everything make sure everything it's like literally a tower defense game more than anything
Yeah, it's
and
it's fascinating to me.
Yeah, because in Valorant you can get away with like, oh, let's play an off pick. Let's play 2 or 3 off pick agents. But like if you go to Siege, it's like each agent has to play in this kind of map. And if you don't play them in this map, your whole flow is, and they've changed the whole dynamic and everything. So
Yeah, and
I
then you have
think,
to think into the future too, because it's like, okay, if this site as a defense didn't work because we did this, then we're gonna give up this area and have to go for another site which we're not as comfortable on. Then we'll have to find a way to counter pick our way back over to this one, and it's like it's literal 4D chess.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that, yeah, I hope that that's what I'm hoping with Valorant, because like because you can also argue like the map pools also. People complain about that. It's like, oh, people just running Reyna, Jet, and like Yoru and ISO, but like there's no like tacticians when it comes to it. And I mean, you don't really need to like ranked is not like a good a good rank, but
Baseline.
yeah, not a
I
good
suppose.
baseline. But I think like it's good to see like pro players like evolve in it, and like being like, hey, we don't want to play like Ascent. You know how like the basic Ascent comp is KO, Sova,
Thank God.
Jet, KJ, and all that. It's like the most boring map ever. But then you'll see someone like Loud be like, fuck it, we're gonna play a Breach and a Phoenix in this map.
That's
But it
good.
works.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you watch APAC, right? Like their number one strategy, at least early in the season, was, the weirder our comps are, the more likely you'll win.
yeah,
Because Sean Garrett said this best, I think, last year during Ascension. It's like the reason why those 5 characters work really well for Ascent is because they have a high shelf life. Like they can do anything pretty much, and you have a lot of strats that you can go deep in and like base it off of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like Fusion and you bring out a Sage, a Neon, and like a Breach, like wacky comps like that, that's gonna work really well for you one game because those teams that know like all the strats to counterpick their mirror comps, it's like, okay, we don't know what to do here. Like this,
yeah,
this is just like square one. You're forcing them to play your game. They have no other
Yeah.
choice. But if you win that match and then you play a Senate with that same wacky ass comp again, people have already watched your VODs. They know how to counterplay you. Now you're the one in that backseat. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why people kind of default to those same 5. It's because like there is more room for like counterplay in differing strats. But at this point, it's like, okay, there's really nothing new to innovate if you keep doing that either.
yeah, yeah. I think like Riot, it's also like because Riot, I don't know if you saw this latest patch where they just basically killed Viper. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I want to actually know your opinion on it.
I mean, it sucks. I like Viper as a character, as an agent. I think, she's really viable, and I think, she's a really good person to like kind of divide out a map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Icebox is a great example where, if you want to rock the Viper, you can divide out a lot of different parts of the map. You bring out the Harbor on top of that, you pretty much have nowhere to go for a lot of
Mm,
teams. And you're forcing people who have played a map like Icebox for a long time, even post rework, they know like the different sight lines and angles they want to take. Now they're forced to readjust every single round for a new angle and a new perspective that they may have not have dealt with before. Now that's more of
Mm-hmm.
a Harbor thing too, where you can change how the walls bend and twirl each time. But like for Viper at the very least, if your team is comfortable enough and know how to play off of it, you can go for some wacky ass walls per round that the enemy team's never seen before, and that enough can stall out a team really badly
Mm-hmm.
against you.
yeah. I also like people were also arguing that the fact that like Riot doesn't know how to balance, so they just killed Viper. So they like you can argue like because I don't Danny, I don't know if you saw that patch notes. They
Yeah.
basically made like the orb you can't pick it up mid round anymore. They gave her only one Viper or only one Viper Molly, and they made like the recharge of the walls and the orb like longer and harder to use. So like what like annoys me is the fact like okay I mean I don't care I never really like playing against Viper. It kind of like I never really likes this double controller comp. It feels like it's like kind of stale. But I feel like with Riot it's like sometimes I'm like, do you guys like not understand how to balance an agent?
Well, I don't know because like I think if you look at Viper in a vacuum, yeah, like she's objectively worse now, but like I think the perspective too is like, okay, we make Viper less of a primary controller with her not having as many capabilities, A, B, and C into a round. But now that might, promote innovation. Like, hey, we have Clove now. They just came out. We could maybe see some more Clove innovation on top of the Viper. maybe we could see more of a Harbor primary controller, and maybe have Viper be more of that secondary role now. Or it's
Mhm.
like, okay, well, Viper doesn't have, you can't pick up the orb anymore. You only have one less snake bite. Now you have to think about, okay, we can't really prioritize just playing post plant with Viper anymore. You're gonna have to either choose, do you want her to be solely post plant, or do you want her to have viability, early round or mid round?
Yeah.
So it gives you less options, but it promotes more tacticianry and more thinking that you have to do as a player and strategy wise to be like, okay, now we have to really prioritize what we want to do, and we can't be like lazy with our utility.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. So before we go, one last question before the traditional questions we have. Who
Ooh.
is an agent do you want, like either nerfed or buffed
Um,
next?
I'd like to see more Harbor gameplay. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of slotted into this like, being in the shadow type beat compared to like Viper. So hopefully after this patch we'll start seeing hi. Sorry, my partner's here too.
Okay.
To maybe see more like traditional Harbor gameplay, like as a primary controller.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess in terms of buffs, I mean, I'd like to see more Yoru. I think
Yeah.
Yoru's objectively the best agent in the game. I'd love to see more of him.
Really?
Oh yeah, he can do everything except for
But
smoke.
why not
Okay.
many pros are playing him? I only see him like maybe on Breeze and that's it.
It's so fucking hard to play Yoru, dude.
Yeah.
Like you really only see him on sometimes on Breeze. I feel like I've only ever really seen Yoru being played by Game Changers teams on Breeze. Like Teddy Tactics is so good for innovating with him. And otherwise it's like Bind, right? Because it's such a small map. You can kind of get a good feel about where players are not going to be in the round just because you don't have to worry about like a mid lane. So you
Hmm.
can send out your teleports to be a little bit more quick on rotates or like, for backline flanking and stuff. But it's just really hard to play around Yoru as a team. And then it's really hard for Yoru to find a lot of viability. Because if you mess up your teleport, you mistime it, you don't let it go through all the way, you can drastically hurt your entire team by missing one piece of utility.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's just as
No,
much like an asset to the team as he is like a complete liability.
Yeah, and like
exactly.
your team needs to be able to coordinate really well too. Like Yoru is a duelist, but like he can also be a sentinel and an initiator. Like if you want to play a sentinel Yoru on the defense, you could send your clone out really late into a round, see if someone's trying to lurk by you or like they're sneaking into your site. They shoot
Hmm.
the clone, expecting you to be pushed up so late into a round. That's information right there. You want to push up yourself, you get into a fight, you take one person out, you TP backside, you're a sentinel, you're Chamber. That is literally what Chamber does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's cool. But now if you're on the attack, you can send his clone in with a flash, you can TP behind the site, you just initiated. You're an initiator that finds information to get onto a site. You just can't smoke. You can do everything with him. And it makes him such a liability sometimes too.
Yeah. I also think like ISO is another agent that kind of died on release in a
Oh
way.
yeah, ISO doesn't exist. He's terrible.
Yeah, he kind of like came out. I was like, "Oh, guys, pretty cool." He's literally like Mordekaiser. He literally just ults and it's a 1v1. But now
He's the
everyone's
E-boy ranked agent.
yeah, and then now it's like, "Oh, he's not played once in pro play." All right,
Why
sick.
would you? He's terrible. The
Yeah.
only team that could make ISO work is probably Paper X. I had an argument with Wahujin right when he came out. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm trying to remember the champions comp for Paper X on Ascent anymore. My brain, I just woke up like an hour ago, so my brain's like goo.
Nice.
But like, you swap out their Reyna for an ISO on that Paper X champions comp, you'd probably have success with it. But it's also
Mhm.
Paper X. They could literally run like the equivalent of Recruit from Rainbow Six that has like no abilities and still win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like, is that a fair comparison? Maybe.
I get it. Yeah, it's just because like the fact that like his kit is like on paper it's good. It's like, oh, he has a moving shield. He has like a vulnerability. He has a like he has like an ability when you kill somebody or assist, you get a shield, and then he has this one
Yeah.
v one where you can 1v1 the guy, and if you I don't know if you have someone like Zekin, Tens, something, and you have like someone like them on it, it's like, oh, he could be most likely they'll win the 1v1. And so it's like on paper it's good, but then it's in practice it doesn't really seem fair. It doesn't seem like really good.
Well, I mean, yeah, Zekin could definitely dominate on ISO, but what are you sacrificing to bring out an
Yeah,
ISO rather than like a jet, right? You won't be able to push
Hmm.
into a site. You know, you won't have your knives. You might not have like a comfortability on the defense bringing out an operator. And
Yeah.
it's also like his shield, like the shield that bring out once you kill somebody, it kind of sucks. It only stops
Yeah.
one piece of damage, which can be cool until a vandal sprays more
Yeah.
than one
It
bullet per like second.
it's fine when
Yeah.
like you force someone with an op to 1v1 you or something or raise ult, but other than those two instances, it's like what's gonna
And is
do?
that worth bringing our jet, like bringing out
Yeah.
ISO over jet? It's like no, you can't.
hmm
hmm
Yeah, I think like overall, it's like hopefully like later on because they just announced they're releasing a new map during Shanghai Masters. So we're gonna see like if that could transition and maybe like that could help differentiate the like help maybe buff like unintentionally buff some agents in that map pool.
Yeah, and that usually happens too. Like, what was it? The last map is Sunset. Like, I feel like other agents benefited from Sunset a lot. I mean, in theory, I think Deadlock benefited from Sunset just because of how close and condensed the map is, but
Also, Gecko
don't
kind of
quiz
like
her.
Gecko
Yeah.
also Gecko. I mean, mine is like ever since his buff, I feel like he's been like the off pick initiator. But in my opinion, I feel like he's the best initiator in the game. Just his kit can do a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
especially his flash, his ult, his molly, and his wingman that can literally plant a bomb for you, and then that's like a 5v5 fight while it's
hmm
planning or diffusing. It's amazing.
His
So,
his flash is grossly overpowered. People
oh
just
yeah.
don't realize it because it's like Reyna's flash. It doesn't affect anybody on your team, right? So
hmm
what we were seeing a lot in open quals this year was that people would rock on Lotus specifically like the Reyna Gecko combo where they would just double flash, well like maybe not double flash, but they could flash once, swing. If they find more people after that opening pick, they could flash again and get the rest of the team. Like it's
Yeah.
so crazy overpowered when you play as a team.
Especially on like Lotus also. Like I tell everyone because I've been one tricking Gecko ever since his buff. And one
Okay.
thing I've been telling everyone was like he literally has like a one-way flash where you can flash high in the air where you don't know where it is and it'll still flash you. And
Yeah.
like that's bro I'm like that is disgusting. Like there's some spots on Lotus where like if you're on Seaside, I believe. Yeah,
The
Seaside.
waterfall one.
Yeah, you just throw in the air, then you see like maybe a little bit of the Gecko thing, but then he'll see everybody and then it's like, all right, three there. It's like
Like that's
rotate.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it cool though. I love Gecko.
It is. It's amazing. And then especially like in a 1v1 situation, you could throw your wingman to defuse, and then you can either bait him or you can like actually like bluff with
Protect
him.
them
It's
or
yeah, or protect it or something like that. But
It's so cool. That's the best thing about Valorant, I think, is that like yeah, aiming's cool, the abilities are cool, but watching the way players make decisions on the fly is the most impressive thing to me. And I
mhm,
think, you know, as someone who color casts, right? Like that's the most important thing to me in terms of like analysis is like, okay, can we see the team in game communicate? Like can we see the result of them doing that? Because you can definitely tell the difference. Like a team that doesn't calm at all, or teams that like are like emotional and not really happy with each other. But
hmm
then you can tell the players that are like, okay, look, I need you to do this with me right now. Here's our timing. Three, two, one, we swing. You can see that. And when you can see that in game perfectly and see the result of it be super good, that's the team I know is going to win the tournament.
yeah, exactly. Like you can see that with like I mean Crew now with the VCT Americas, like how well they've been playing together. Just they added Heat and now they're 5-0. They went undefeated
Yep.
this whole split, which is insane because they didn't win a single thing last split. They would it's crazy like how one player can just change the whole dynamic of the
It's
whole team.
wild. I
Yeah,
mean,
which is
John QT, right? He's a similar
yeah.
case for Sentinels. He was brought in from what M80. He's
hmm
like this new IGL. You know, people knew he was really good in challengers, but like he is doing really good in Sentinels on
Yeah.
Sentinels now. I mean, post Madrid, maybe not as much, but like I wouldn't really say that's John or really any player on Sentinels' fault.
You can still consider it a success just because he won him a trophy now.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's a major
what?
Yeah.
trophy. It's a major success. He did his job, what he needed. Because Sentinels were just like, all right, you guys won Reykjavik like 3 years ago. Congratulations. You guys are not that super team. But then he brought him on. He like made him
All
look
it
like a
takes.
super team. Just
That's
takes
all
one
it
character.
takes.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show that like the skill gap between like challengers in Americas really isn't that much. But that's like a whole argument about like franchising as a whole too. It's
hmm
like,
Yeah.
you know, how do they foster talent and stuff? But honestly speaking, I think trying to think of the right word. The pool of talent in America specifically is gigantic. And
Hmm.
it's like, damn, it's only going to get larger from here when people get more chances to shine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, hopefully in the future we'll see how Riot develops in natural talent with like tier 2 and GC and all that.
Yeah. I mean,
But
there's some GC players too that I think could be in franchise. People will
oh,
argue
100%. Yeah.
otherwise, but like Floor,
Yeah.
dude, Floor could definitely do it.
100%. Someone like also like the whole Shopify team can literally you could pick any one of them. They can all like you could put them on a franchising team. You could put them on Furia, which you could put them on Furia and they'll dominate. Like
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
you can literally put on that. So that's why it's like always the arguments like people need relegation. Like VCT, I've been arguing like been preaching about this. Like VCT needs relegation because you cannot have a team like MIBR and Furia go like 0-5, getting 13-2, 13-3, all that, and then not be able to like just don't take any repercussions. It's like no, an org should be punished for not making a good team. I get it, maybe there's situation with the players, but it's not like I argue that like Turtle Troops, M80, and like Oxygen and MXS, they could all be in franchising if they could.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think a cool idea for franchising would be like, if you're an established esports org, right? Like you're not like a hoodie org or like a basement org, right? Like, if you're like Core, you're like SSG, you're like Sentinels, right? And you have that established like base. I think, you know, Riot or, whoever you're franchise with could like give you a stipend, right? Like they do right now, and you could play out of the land facility, but still make the tournaments open circuit. And it
Mhm.
gives players an incentive to be on a pro team. Like, they have the best equipment, they get to play in person on LAN with their friends, and they still can face other teams at LAN too, or they can face online teams in a tournament. But they'll have those added advantages. So naturally, in theory, I think those teams playing on LAN would still rise to the top, like franchises right now, but it's still more of an open circuit, and it gives a reason for other organizations to want to go back into Valorant or any other franchise game to have a chance to be in that same kind of sphere.
Mhm.
No, yeah, I 100% agree. I think a stipend, like I was also say that if there was like something like that or a relegation, more orgs would be invested into tier 2 now. Because like,
Yeah.
oh hey, it means we have a chance. And like I remember like early on during the open qualifier of VCT, we had like something like 30 orgs, 30 different orgs all competing in like
Well,
bracket.
but the problem with that though is that all those orgs came in because they wanted to be franchised. And
Hmm.
if there's relegation introduced, a lot of orgs, even in franchise, would want to back out because they don't want that job insecurity. Like if there's a
Mhm.
chance that Sentinels could be relegated, they don't want to invest so much money into their teams if they don't make any money back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Also with the tier 2 or like franchising, look how they introduced like the capsules where like all these
Yeah.
orgs like, they get a lot of money for that. So even if like that 1 year you guys do shit and like come back, you can still make your money back in that capsules or even more. So that's why I was thinking like, okay, maybe if they had like tier 2, so like for example, of like Core, Turtle Troops, and Oxygen. We don't get relegated, but we don't get promoted. We're still in tier 2. It's like, hey, can we at least get some stipend? Like
Yeah.
something like if you make like I was saying like if you make just a spray and if you sell that for like $5, that would be more than enough for us. It's like something small, something simple, like a gun
Yeah. I
buddy.
get a core spray.
Yeah, like exactly. Like it's something so simple. Then okay, an org would like be invested into it. Okay, we might not get relegated or you might not get promoted, but you got at least get like your money's worth within the time.
I
Mhm.
And
think
that's
that's one
what.
thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. What's up?
No, go. You're good.
I think that's one thing that like Rainbow Six and Overwatch do really well is that they had like a bunch of skins. Like I think I haven't really spent any money ever on Overwatch, but like I think the one time I did, I bought the like the Hangzhou Spark Diva outfit because I love those
Mhm.
colors. And
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
like yeah, small things like that that I really like.
Exactly. I mean, we just hope like they actually like listen to us and like instead of like, just complaining to the void. But now it's time to the traditional questions. I mean, you
Ooh.
probably know about them before. It's been a minute, but our first one is what is your go-to boba order if you do drink?
Oh.
Has it evolved since the
I,
last time
What did
we
I say
asked?
last time? Do you
You
know?
said you loved taro milk tea so much that you bought like a way to make it at home.
I still haven't opened those.
Really?
No.
in like
I
3 years.
Oh my
I know.
god.
I don't really like boba that much. I mean, I did in the beginning,
Oh,
but like I think since we last did the podcast, I've moved, and like there's a lot of boba places like within walking distance. But my partner's like a boba connoisseur and is like local around here and knows like all the good places are
Mhm.
nowhere near us. So it's like I've had decently good boba. I've had some boba that's been like fancier, like instead of having the tapioca balls, it's like jelly or pudding at the bottom.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But at the end of the day, I just haven't found a flavor that I really vibe with, Like
Mhm.
taro's good, but it's like I want more than taro,
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
haven't found any that I like. And like if I did, I just feel like I'd like a milkshake more,
Okay.
Yeah. Like I would say like a milkshake is like safe bet too. It's like because of the ice cream and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now the second question is, have you ever tried a bidet before?
A bidet? Yeah, I own a bidet.
Oh,
Oh my god, I think he's the first one.
person to say they owned one.
Yeah, I've had a bidet since I've moved to California. Now, truthfully speaking, since I moved here, I haven't installed it. It's sitting under the cabinet, but that's not because I'm anti-bidet or anything. It's just because I'm lazy. But yeah, I enjoy the bidet. I think it's cool. Now, the one I
no.
have is very strong, and I remember when I first installed it, and just to test it, I squeezed a little handle. I wasn't like using the bathroom or anything. I wasn't like sitting on it.
Yeah.
Just to see like how far it goes. Now, I wasn't expecting it to hit the door of
Yeah.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
That was like a power washer, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh,
Don't
no,
worry,
my
I'm
I'm
asshole
gonna be
can
real
handle that.
clean after this one.
Yeah,
looks,
like damn.
it looks strong, but it really isn't that strong.
Well,
because-
speak for yourself. The one I have is pretty strong. It felt like
oh, it is
sandpaper.
okay. Because the ones
Like-
like I have, because I turned it a little bit, and it does do the spray thing, but then you use it, it's like, oh, okay, it's not that strong. So like,
It felt like sandpaper was hitting my asshole.
oh my
Like,
god.
I guess not in a bad way though, because I would do it more than once. But like, you get used to sandpaper on your asshole after a while, right?
Oh,
What a-
yeah, yeah.
Anyone relate? High
I'm gonna
five. Anyone
clip
relate?
that.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
No, because like me and him always have we've been having this discussion for like years now about like the efficiency of bidet, because people think like the bidet is like the whole metal installment on next to the toilet, but what I usually tell everyone, it's like the clip-on ones you put on your toilet, and that's what I tell them. Like, yeah, there's like you just clip it and then connect it to your hose, and that's it.
Oh, I don't have that.
Oh, what do you have then? Which one do you have?
I don't. Maybe I can send you the link after. It's like a plate, I guess, and then you
The whole
unhinge.
seat?
Yeah, you take off the entire seat and the upper part of the toilet, like not the upper part, like the upper lid, I guess.
Like the lid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a toiletologist. I don't know the terminology, but you take that off and you screw it in, and then you screw in the upper lid in the hole where the bidet is, so it's like fused with the toilet like Voltron.
Oh wait, no, the one I have where I tell everyone it's like $30 on Amazon. You just like clip it onto like the side of your toilet, and then you connect it to the water hose, and then that's it. It's like $30 on Amazon. I tell everyone, I'm like, yeah, it's a very simple one, and you get it on Amazon. But then he thinks it's like this $200 one. I'm like, no, you don't need to get any of that.
You could get the Ludwig one. That's like $50.
You know, I would love to get if we got sponsored by his. I think I would make it. It would be amazing. I can get all the Arabs to do it.
You gotta DM Ludwig with this podcast. Be like, hey,
No,
look,
I can get everyone
Hey,
in New
dude.
Jersey to do it. I'll get everyone in New Jersey to get a bidet if I was sponsored
Oh.
by it.
most of my family's from New Jersey.
Oh my god. Oh, so how do they like New Jersey?
It's New Jersey.
Yeah, it is New Jersey.
What does
Yeah.
that mean? I like New Jersey.
I mean, New Jersey's weird because you don't get to pump your own gas.
What do you
That
mean?
is-
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I'm just not used to it, And
Oh,
then
yeah.
like, you guys have like ShopRite and Quick Check and
And we have
Wawa.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wawa goes
Wawa's nice.
crazy.
The holy
Wawa's
trinity.
cool.
They just
The
put a
Wawa-
Wawa near my house. My life has
Mhm.
changed.
Yeah,
Really?
it's like 5-10 minutes away from my house too now.
I haven't had Wawa in years, but I remember having the fries at one point, and they were good, just good, but they were cool.
Pre-pandemic, Quick Check was top tier, but then afterwards
Yeah.
they kind of dipped in quality. But now Wawa replaced that, and Wawa just their coffee. They have like 16 different kind of coffee. Oh my
Really?
god!
Wait, oh
They're
my god! At
loaded.
Wawa, you guys have those ice cream machines too, where you take like the little
Yeah, the little
the
cup
things of ice
thing.
cream, you put them in the
Mhm.
machine, and it like makes a milkshake for
Yep.
you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'm lactose intolerant now, so I can't use that anymore.
Oh.
But it was fascinating when I was a little kid.
Honestly,
It's
even
like-
if you're lactose intolerant, just take it. Just take.
Yeah,
You know
dude,
what?
it's worth
It
it.
is what it is.
Gives me a reason to use my bidet.
Exactly.
Oh my god, get this guy
Wow,
out
would you
of
look
here.
at that? Would you look at that?
Actual genius. Wawa should sponsor you guys.
Oh my god. What?
We should
We're taking
march
quite to the
down, we
moon.
should march into the Wawa down the street and
Ooh. Wait, have you ever gone to the boardwalk?
yeah, like down the
Oh.
shore. Yeah.
What is it called? Wonderland? Funland? Near Atlantic City?
Oh,
Oh my God,
Coney
I know what you're
Island in
talking-
New York City?
No, wait, what?
No,
not
no,
Coney
no,
Island.
no. I know
No?
exactly what you're talking about, but I forgot the name of it. I know exactly what you're talking. It's near.
I'm pretty sure it's called Wonderland.
I think
Because
so.
my family and I used to go there every single summer. They'd have like the tilt-a-whirl ride. They would have like the log rides and stuff right against the beach.
Oh yeah.
We went there one year
Oh.
and there was a lightning storm on the beach, and we were like, "Oh, we're not allowed to go in the water."
Well,
miss
I
that
looked up
so much.
Wonderland and I only got smoke shops, so I don't know
Oh.
if that's what you
Oh
mean.
my god.
I mean,
Maybe
This-
they rebranded.
that'd be one hell of a
Brandon?
vibe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lit, the boardwalk would be amazing.
Bro, that is all right. Danny, we know what we're doing next now.
Oh,
Yes, no, that's a great core content idea.
Oh, but yeah, that's it for everything. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate this is the second time, so you are now officially a recurring guest. Appreciate
You're
you.
the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
The
Yeah,
first-
thank
Yeah.
you so much for having me on. I always really enjoy doing these, and I think you guys are fantastic hosts.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so much. Do you have anything like? I mean, we let anyone know if they want to plug in anything. Do you have any projects you want to work on? Do you want to plug in your socials?
Oh,
Anything you want to
jeez.
plug?
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, we were talking about this earlier on. I do a lot of things now. Follow me on Twitter. It's at KEG Shouts. I have 2 Instagrams. I have one that's like me. It's just Max Tomp, so TOMP, and then there's KEG Shouts, which is more of like just like posting esports and like gaming online stuff. Otherwise, I guess follow the modeling career, the commercial stuff if you can. I usually post all of it on Twitter and Instagram, so any love for that would be cool. Oh, and I guess I stream like 3 or 4 days a week when I can. So feel free to check out my Twitch too at KEG Shouts.
Yeah, everything will be in the
Cool.
description also. Just
Oh,
we'll let
sweet.
you know. So if you want to
Yeah.
send us all that stuff, we'll put it in the description. So everything will be below and everything. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sure
thank you
thing.
guys for listening. Appreciate it. And that would be the cutoff to the next segment.
Nice.
So- Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
See you.
And we're
And
back. Welcome back. Thank you for KEG for coming on. Wonderful guest. Great hair. Just has wonderful hair.
For those who don't know, we just recorded the past 5 minutes, not realizing the microphones weren't on.
Yeah. And the thing is, we were talking about hair for the past 5 minutes and how we go to Turkey and all that, and like the process of going to Turkey. So if any of you bald people out there, Turkey, $300, you grow back your hair in like 2 months,
Nice.
fully grown back. But that's we were just talking about that. So
Fuck.
man, it was such a good segment, but it's all good. We got a few news today. First, I got beef. With Knights Arena.
Why can't it be chicken?
Like, think about it. Like, I have chicken with somebody.
Or like,
I have sirloin steak with somebody.
well, that's beef.
Okay, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, like,
What kind of beef? Ground beef?
Yeah, ground beef, because we're like on the ground. Because I'm gonna take them to the ground when I see them.
I don't like how that sounds, but continue.
Okay, so it came out with a mid-season invitational for VCL came out, and they came out with a schedule. And apparently, even though we finished top 4 in the standings, we don't qualify as top 4 in MSI. So, well, we'll probably put like a picture right here of the MSI bracket. If you
better
noticed,
send it to me.
yeah, I'll send it to you. Well, it's gonna be like right here, so if you guys see it.
Okay.
If you noticed, Oxygen has a bye round, but Core has to play the first round. Even though we beat Oxygen and we tied with them and we're higher standing with them in Group A. So,
Well, isn't it because of like round differential or something? Or is
Yes.
it map differential?
I would agree with you if they didn't put us second in the groups and top 4 in the standings.
Like we were above oxygen.
We were above Oxygen in the
but
standings.
then
At MSI, they just didn't care about that. So I wasn't mad about the round differential. I understand it. But then why put us in top 4 and above them in the stage 1, which basically meant stage 1 didn't matter. Like it literally just did not matter at all. And it was just such a stupid format. And everyone was saying, it's like, wait a minute, why is core not in a buy round? They were atop of oxygen. And then someone's like, oh, the head-to-head because it was a tie, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But still, why did you put us in second in the
Yeah, they
group?
shouldn't have teased us then.
Yeah, like if you just put like, oh, because the head-to-head of MSI, we're going to put you guys third. Okay, you know what? We would have been annoyed, but hey, we would have lived with it. It's fine. But now we went and all that, and then all that process, all that like celebration, that was just for nothing. Stage 1 literally did not mean anything. That's what it meant. Mine is
it's
relegation.
like anyone who didn't get relegated.
It didn't
or-
matter.
Yeah, that's it.
Like that's literally it didn't matter. So that's why I'm like so confused. I'm like,
I don't know. I think there may be a handful of people in the world who actually like fully understand how this format works.
yeah.
And then you made a whole video on how it works, and then
People
like,
still don't know how it works.
people still don't know how it works.
That video,
and then now we don't know how it works because this happened.
yeah. If you guys understand the importance of of buy rounds, right? First of all, if you get a buy round, you basically get a rest day where you can prepare. You get an extra day to prepare and all that. And on top of that, you know who your opponent are. So you get to see your opponent play, and then you're like, oh, he does this, this player does that, this is their comp for this map. We know how to counter them.
Yeah.
So if you guys understand why I'm angry, this is the importance of a buy round. It literally gives you an advantage. It is basically an advantage.
Yeah, it's not just the free spot. You
Yeah.
can see like how they're playing.
It's not just, oh, you only have to play 2 rounds to win two matches to play MSI. It's no, you actually get an advantage because you get to see who it is, and then afterwards, it is fair. But it is what it is. That's one news segment for the day. Oh, speaking, we're gonna stay on Valorant. This is kind of fucked, but it's kind of funny in the same time. So a player on DSG, on Disguised Toast's VCL in the Pacific region, he apparently got investigated, and he got investigated for match fixing. But the match fixing is him betting on himself. So he was betting on himself.
Was he betting that he was gonna win?
I don't know the exact details, but it's still illegal. You can't
Yeah.
bet on yourself. You can't bet on matches that you're playing, or you can't bet on general. Okay.
I feel like I mean I don't know the rules, so this could be a rule, but like you shouldn't be allowed to bet on anything in the league that you're in.
Yes. Or like in general, you can't be betting on Valorant because you might have influence on other regions and also. So there was that. But what the fucked up part was the VCL Pacific, they came out, they just tweeted, hey, you have 48 hours to relieve your name. And the guy came out, he's like, I was never notified about the investigation. I was never told I was being investigated. You guys just came and tweeted out saying I was 48 hours, that I cheated even though I didn't. So imagine the FBI.
Or that he bet.
Yeah, unless he match fixed. So imagine like the cops coming to you. It's like, hey, we've been investigating you for a while. You have about 48 hours to clear your name that you didn't kill these many people. Like, how would you feel? It's like, wait a minute, what? Like, on a random Tuesday, they come up to you and just say that to you.
Wait, so like, does anyone actually know for sure whether he was doing it or not?
All they said was, we investigated him and he has 48 hours to clear his name. And after they posted that, it was like 36 hours late. It was like 36 hours left. So not even a full 48 hours. So, yeah, it was like, dude, what? First of all, I get it. He's match fixing. Even if he's allegedly match fixing, it's kind of fucked that you didn't tell him that he was investigated. You didn't tell him about any of this, and then you just posted on Twitter. Not even privately tell him. You posted on Twitter
so everyone could see.
Yeah. So because like it's kind of fucked because you're doing all this because his name will be his like reputation will be shattered just because of this.
Yeah.
And if he gets banned, it's like, oh, why'd you get banned? Match fixing, even though I wasn't, and they didn't give me time to clear my name.
Yeah, that's.
I don't get it.
And is it Riot that went after him?
It's the VCT Pacific, so whoever runs runs it. So basically,
that's bizarre.
Yeah, and it's like there was more precaution taken for the Sinatra situation than this, and like that was 10 times
they
worse.
At least like suspended him from. Like for Sinatra, they gave him a temporary suspension,
and they told
until he was either proven
innocent
either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the case was postponed, so there was no clear answer on what happened. But that situation was taken care of 100 times more than what this is.
Yeah.
And like, I get it, it's match fixing, it's bad, but like, you couldn't give him the courtesy of tweeting at him privately, like, hey. Or like a week before, it's like, hey, there's evidence of you being match fixing this, and this. We will be investigating, and we're gonna let your organization know, which is Disguised Toast.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I kind of feel bad for Disguised because his entire Valorant journey is just fucked.
Yeah, I feel like I've never heard like anything good. Not even like, oh, they're bad. I feel like it's just a series of unfortunate events back to back to back with
just
them.
on Valorant alone. Because like, it's just like last year in the NAVCL, they just went through a whole bunch of roster changes. Ye was on it, then they never won a single match, and then they did all that. It's like, damn, you're just unlucky, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's just, he went to Pacific for, like a better time, and then this happened. So this man can't catch a break when it comes to Valorant, and I feel so bad. But that's Valorant news, at least. I don't know if you've been. I don't know if you have any news you've seen online or anything.
Well, I mean, we haven't talked about the Tarkov bullshit.
Oh, you know what? You're more passionate about it. You can talk to them about it.
Okay. I'll use this also as an opportunity to plug. We're starting a new channel. It will be out by the time that this podcast comes out. Where we're gonna make fun content that isn't necessarily news. That's just like fun, different talking points and stuff. So my video this week is AAA games are dead and corporate greed in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And just so happens, while I'm making this video, Tarkov releases a $250 version of their game that's still in early access, or whatever they're calling it. Like, the game isn't officially out yet.
It hasn't been officially out for like 6 years.
Yeah, the game's been out longer than I've been alive. Not actually true, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I, like a goddamn idiot, already bought the $120 version of the game.
Which is, by the way, that edition, it literally just says in the description before they removed it that all DLCs or all patches come with it. So you have to pay that a one-time fee, and then every content after that comes with it.
Like Infinite Season Pass. Like every single thing that comes out after this is included, no matter what.
So people were like, oh, I get by this one time. Any content coming after it is PvE or anything comes with it. So we're like, okay, that's good.
But now, in this new $250 version of the game, who is buying a fucking game for $250 too? Like, just the game.
Yeah, by the way, that's kind of fucked.
That's why I can't believe I spent $120 for this.
Yeah, like 120 was steep, but the game has a lot of content and there was a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
But now they released like all this new content for it. Like, it includes like a single player version of the game and mod support and all this stuff. And they said, but only the people who buy the $250 version of the game will get to play it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then why the fuck did I buy my $120 version of the game that said I would be able to play anything in the future that comes out? And they tried to make some like bullshit argument about like, it technically launches on like a different launcher than this, so it's not DLC. But the fucking other game mode, the Tarkov Arena thing, also launches on a different launcher, but that one is DLC. So I don't know. They're trying to like manipulate the definition.
DLC is downloadable content, even though unless it is on a completely different game. It is a downloadable content. It is a subcontent of the game, meaning it is a downloadable content. So in the description, when it said any future DLC, that means the PvE mode. And on top of that, the bullshit is this 250 is literally pay to win, by the way.
Yes, you start off with your base stats higher than everybody else's.
Yeah.
So you can run faster than everyone. You can carry more than everyone. I think your guys' pockets are bigger. Mm-hmm. So like you can physically hold more shit.
Also, you have priority when you load into a game.
Yep.
So meaning
you get better games.
You can get into better games before anybody else. So like the only difference between the other versions of the game was that your stash, like where you hold your, like when you go back after a raid, it's just the size of it, which is not bad because you can upgrade it
within
the
anyways.
game. You can upgrade within the game, so it's fine. And then your little pocket stash where you can like when you die you don't lose any of it. It's just a little bigger, which is like okay, it's not a big deal. It's whatever. But what this is, it literally puts you ahead of everyone else, which the other version never put you. It put everyone on the same level. Everyone's player stats, everyone's base is the same. Nothing. The only difference is the stash and the pocket. That's the only difference, which didn't give you an advantage really. It was just like more an inconvenience more than anything. And on top of that, you can upgrade it within the game. So
Yeah.
it's just it was bullshit because it's like, dude, are you insane? Like, why would you do this? Your game is already the most popular extract shooter. Like it's basically the most popular one right now. And the fact that you did this out of greedy, like, oh my god, like it is so bullshit. And like almost everybody is like, yeah, I'm just not gonna play this game anymore.
Yep. I've said this. I hope that nobody supports their game anymore because if they've done this once, I'm pretty sure that they would do it again.
Yeah.
Like they said that they're keeping the $250 version, which is crazy. Like, why would anyone buy that at this point? But they're definitely gonna like the thing that got me the most was that they went on their website and they changed. Like when this new version came out, they changed it was called the Edge of Darkness edition, which is the one that I bought, the $120 one. And they changed the store page of it to say that to remove the contains future
There's
DLC.
a clip of it, someone seeing it live being changed, like on real time being changed.
Yeah, like they tried to like gaslight everyone and be like, no, we never said that. So like if they're willing to do something like that fucking shady, I hope Tarkov dies like next week.
I saw
Their player base is already coming down. You sent us like
I sent it. It was like their player base, like what I think it was like something crazy, like 20 or 50,000 people just stopped playing the game in the past 30 days, which is like insane.
I hope that they fucking collapse because they don't care about the cheating problem because they don't hardware ban people like Vanguard does. If you cheat in the game, you could just buy another copy on a new account. And like they don't care because the base game costs $60. So if they could just keep banning someone who's because these people are willing to pay for cheats, so why wouldn't they be willing to just pay for the game again? If like the same guy buys the game 3 times, well then you just made all this money off of them. So like they don't care. They're never gonna fix the game. Now they're even greedier than they were before. I hope it fucking dies. I'm so happy that all these new Tarkov replacements are coming out.
Yeah, like I think we played Ground Arena, was it?
Gray Zone Warfare.
Gray Zone Warfare, which is like it's on alpha. We played it. It's
very new.
It's very very alpha. Like that's all I'm gonna say. It's like it's very pre-alpha right now because I was playing it. It's like it's not finished in the slightest. It's not finished, but it has promise.
My synopsis is great game. Buy it in like 6 months.
Yeah. Do not buy it now. Buy it in like 6 months. If you don't
have a good PC, like my PC is like kind of mid, honestly, and I run on lowest settings, like 50, 60 FPS. So unless you have a fucking supercomputer, hold off for like 6 months, wait for optimization. But the game is fun.
It is. I like the aspect of it. I mean, again, I'm gonna say I am gonna miss Tarkov a little bit, but now it's just I can't. You lost my trust because you guys went in a board meeting, you guys talked about this, you guys planned this, and you guys had multiple meetings about this package, and you're like, not one of you said, "Hey, maybe this might not be a good idea," like. And then, by the way, this is against the law. Like, they're probably gonna get sued for this. Because
apparently in Europe there were talks of like a class action lawsuit or something where if something like that were to go through, they would probably owe a lot of people who bought the game already like refunds or at least some sort of compensation.
So they're not only because their base is in the UK, which is in Europe.
Their HQ is
their HQ is in the UK, so they will get sued. They will get sued because it's a misleading an advertisement, and you're basically like you can pull it as like a scheme. It's a scheme.
So
fuck Tarkov, fuck Battlestate,
Fuck Nikita.
Fuck Nikita, especially fuck you, because I know his ass was thriving. He was like, yes, oh my god, it's 250, everyone's gonna buy it. Fuck you. Thank God your game is dead, because you're a piece of shit for doing that. And I hope every other game that thinks about doing something like this.
I hope that Tarkov's the example.
Yeah, they are. I hope everyone looks at that and be like, let's not do what they just did. So keep that in mind. I hope Ground Warfare, I hope they are, you know.
Well, did you see Gray Zone Warfare? They have the different editions. The highest one is $100. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah,
I'm not making that mistake again.
Yeah, I'm buying the
But
base
they
game.
specifically said, they tweeted something like, it will never be more expensive than this. Like,
So-
they will never, like, they said something, like, super specific. And I mean, totally jabbing Tarkov, but, like,
Yeah.
good for them.
Yeah, so I hope every other game company never does what they just did. So thank God.
Like, we got through, like, the EA loot box craze, and now shit like this is happening. Let's give essential things as
shout out to
DLC.
Helldivers for never doing this. They only had one edition, and everything you get
And there's
is
a
in-game.
battle pass.
There's a
which
battle pass?
which you can get the paid battle pass without paying for it.
I
if
have
you
not
play,
paid a single cent
if
in
you
that game
play
yet.
the game enough.
I have-
Imagine that.
I've unlocked everything, and I have yet to spend a single cent in that game. So shout out to Helldivers.
Like,
You guys are real ones.
If the game is free to play, I don't care if there are microtransactions because you got to make money somehow. Like
Mhm.
whether it's loot boxes or any of that shit. But like,
If you pay for it, come on.
if it's already a fucking $60 game, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. So thank God that now
Or
AAA games.
$70 now mostly.
I'm happy that AAA games are finally like getting exposed, and all these like somewhat indie.
Watch my
companies-
video. Watch my video.
the video.
On QORcast extras. Watch the video.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
gonna
probably
be-
link in the description. So,
It's gonna be so good.
what? Make sure to
You get
watch
to
it.
hear my voice for 5 minutes.
Oh no. Well, that's the news for the week, and now we have QORcast news of the week. All right, so QORcast news, we got 2 only. So we got
Only
spring
2?
teas coming up soon. So if you guys want any spring teas for Core merch, make sure to follow the Twitter. Go on Core Gaming on Twitter. So we'll put in the description below. And also the Valorant boys, they're playing in the mid-season invitational for VCL in May 15th to the 19th. So make sure to watch the boys then. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully, we look really good, and we're playing good. We're actually playing the whoever wins the promotion or relegation. So whoever wins that, we actually get to play them.
We actually get to send them back.
Not send them back. They're gonna finish the promotion relegation. We're gonna go and we're gonna send them back home in first round. So yeah, we're gonna be playing
These people are gonna have it rough.
Yeah, they're having it rough. And whoever is doing this is rough. And then second round, we actually verse Oxygen. So we get a rematch with them.
Yeah, then we get to actually take their fucking spot.
Yeah, we
this
actually
time.
get to take their fucking spots, assholes. So those are the core news for the week. Make sure to follow us on everything. Everything will be in the description.
New channel.
New channel. Alrighty. Bye, guys. Love you.